What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rudy Rodriguez Showmont here. Welcome back to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts or feelings. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. By this point, you have probably had a chance to take a glimpse of my glowing endorsement of one Lexi Hull. And as expected, all the simples, all the simps, the simpletons, the softies, the weird people who are deviants, the individuals who are only like Lexi Hull because they have fantasies about her, they have unsubscribed. They are gone. Being real, they're gone. They unsubscribed because they didn't like the facts of 12 of 55 over 17 games and 5 of 33 over the last 9. And they don't like it. So they unsubscribed while leaving their comments. But that's not what this video is about. This video is not about that. This video is about the press conference from Thursday that we briefly went over during the game and during the live, but I want to do a separate video because, I have to dedicate my time to Stephanie White because it seems like I'm only allowed by certain individuals to critique certain people. So if I ripped Natasha Howard, that would be okay, right? If I rip Stephanie White, that's okay, right? But if I rip Sydney Colson, that's okay, right? But the second I critique Lexi Hull, oh, that's an issue. That's an issue because, oh my God, you only like her because, I don't know. You think about why you only like her. But those of you who are still with me, you ride with me, and I appreciate you, and I thank you. But what I will never have here on this channel is a glazing channel of BS. I don't do that. That's not my style. I am an equal opportunist critique. I critique everybody. I've critiqued Caitlin Clark. You all know that. I will give praise when it's due. I will critique when it's due. And if it's Saturday. If tonight Lexi Hull goes 6 for 6 from 3-point range, I will praise her for her 6 for 6. Will it change my opinion of her as a player? Not really, because one game doesn't change anything. You need to do something consistently to change my opinion. And she's not that player. Like I said, shooters shoot. Taking 2 shots a game or 2 or 3 threes a game is not a shooter. A shooter, she shot 8 threes the last game. 0 for 8. Dude, shoot 5, 6, 7, 8 threes a game. Shoot 40% from 3. Shooting that many threes a game, and then you'll change my mind. But this video is about the press conference. We talked about it, and I'm going to go a little deeper into it because I want to really, really go in on this one. So take a look.
Just what does it mean to come back here and be able to play or just ask an opponent tonight?
Yeah, AZ was good to me, but I'm way happier where I'm at now. It was good to see people. It was fun to play in front of some fans. But for me, I'm way happier in Indiana.
You left the game in that second quarter with that left ankle.
That's a pipe bomb right there in itself. Sophie's already coming in. We already saw this before, which I love about her. I love her brutal honesty, kind of like myself. It's interesting. You like brutal honesty when it's against people that you don't like, but you don't like brutal honesty when it's about people that you do like. She gave brutal honesty there. And, bro, she pipe bomb.
I think it was. Just how are you feeling with that? Obviously, you came back and seemed to be fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I think we faced some adversity with some injuries this game. But you know what? We're used to that. We've had that at the beginning of the year. This is just another hump that we're going to get over, and we're gonna be okay.
And obviously, Sydney went down with that injury in the first quarter. Just what was that like? Just seeing that, and how did that affect the rest of the game?
For sure. I mean, it sucks, right?
Like I said in the live, that injury down 26-14 in the first quarter had no impact on the rest of the game. None whatsoever. None. Zero. None. They were down 12. I don't like how these reporters phrase questions to make it seem like that injury had anything to do with how this team played. How your backup point guard getting hurt had anything to do with getting beat by 35 points. But let's continue. That question is bogus, and it's one of these softballs to deflect from the fact that They just got crushed. I would have loved a question for Sophie saying, Sophie, you came out here ready to play, 18 points. What happened with the rest of your team tonight? And she'd have been honest about it. That's the thing. She is honest. So you would have gotten the real from her. You would have gotten the, I don't know, man. we like you would have gotten truth from her, and or definitely a better question than this. What was going on with the rest of your team? Well, you were on a heater and they're on a bender. I mean, so
Don't ever want to see anyone be injured on any team. I feel like there's been a lot of injuries this year in the W, harsh ones, I think. And, it's just another one. And Sid is still the heartbeat of our team. She's going to be okay. Our team's going to be okay. And again, it's just another hurdle that we're going to have to get over.
Any other questions?
I'm Brilliant with Empower Future Athletes. Did you ever think about quitting when you were younger, and if so, what made you keep going?
Great question. Yeah, I think when you're growing up, sometimes it's really hard, right? Sometimes you doubt yourself. Sometimes you lack confidence, but there's always a fire in you. And I think the biggest thing that everyone's always going to fail. And I think if you're not trying, or if you're not failing, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough. And so for me, I think when you put in the work and you're the hardest worker, sometimes it's ugly, right? But you just have to kind of stack the days. And I just think if you keep showing up and you keep working hard, good things are going to happen.
it's funny that the WNBA allows children to ask questions in press conferences. It's a cute question, and it's I think Sophie did a great job there with her response, and I think it's ironic that the question was about quitting when you just played Phoenix, and Bonner had quit your team. But it's also intriguing that people who cover the league can't get a credential to a Zoom link, but they give a child the opportunity to ask a question in a press conference following a game. This isn't like when they let kids do Super Bowl questions in the pregame, during the week of the game and all that. And this isn't even like if you let the kid do ask a question in a shoot around or something like that. No, you're having a child. It's all cute. Probably sounds like 7, 8 years old. Ask a question in a post WNBA game after getting beat by 35. But again, cute, but I don't think it's the most appropriate time to have children asking questions of professional athletes. But this is par for the course for what the WNBA does. Seemingly everybody does. Just very, very weird. I think this is a WNBA thing, not a Indiana thing per se, but weird in itself.
Yeah, obviously a pretty dominant win by Phoenix. Just what did they do so well with obviously AT getting that third state triple double as well?
Now, let me start out before this goes, because I've already seen this press conference, as you all know. Aliyah Boston embarrasses herself here. Absolutely embarrasses herself. And you'll get to watch it again.
Well,
Yeah, I thought just focusing on us. I thought defensively we had some slippages early on, and that got them.
I can't stomach the we stuff. Don't deflect from the you. I don't like when players talk about team when they should be talking about self. Reflection of what you did or didn't do is what you should be commenting on here. Don't comment on your team. We didn't have slippages. You had slippages. You were not good. You had 4 points and 9 rebounds. You didn't do shit. You were terrible. And at no point is there any level of personal accountability for her own play. And that is something that is largely a problem to me. There's this lack of accountability for your own play. If you don't play well, you can say, I didn't play well. I can pull you clip after clip of Steph Curry saying, I sucked when he shoots badly or shoots poorly. But you don't hear that from this. Like, you were 4 points, 9 rebounds, and your response is we.
Some easy buckets at the rim. Their second chance.
You're the center. The easy buckets at the rim are on you then, because you're the center. You're the last line of defense, right? Last I checked.
Points, that was pretty big for us. They're rebounding. And so I think when you look at the grand scheme of things, a lot of things that we can clean up. And so for us, making sure that we go back, we look at that film and be ready to clean that up.
Watch film. You know they don't watch film.
it was fatigue kind of a factor, obviously, with it being.
Can you imagine a report was fatigue a factor? So they played 2 games on the road. 2 games, Tuesday and Thursday. Right? There's a Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So 3 games on the road, whatever it was. Fatigue from what?
Your 4th road game, kind of 8 days on the road today.
Yeah, I mean, possibly, but we're not gonna just give all the credit to that. I think once again, like every time you step.
No, we're not going to give the credit to being tired. We're going to give the credit to the fact that we stunk, or that, you should be giving credit to the fact that you stunk and you need to own it, but you're not doing that. So even the reporters are giving them outs with fatigue. Okay, like get at. So how do you answer if they had won? If they had won the game, would you be asking about fatigue? Just curious.
On the floor, we just have to be ready. And I think obviously with our slippages and some of the coverages that we wanted to try and do.
The our slippages, man. She's good at we and our. She's not good at her. She's not good at me. She's not good at my failure. She's good at we and our. Never her.
It allowed them to score on those.
I'm gonna be bringing out we're gonna be doing a top, would you rather Aliyah Boston. That's gonna be coming soon. That's been recommended and requested, so I will be doing a would you rather. And I'm gonna have to wait for Ben on that because we did it for Lexi on that, and then we're gonna do it for Aliyah. And we're just gonna do it based on bigs. Not gonna do it based on everybody, just bigs.
And then Steph, obviously, Sid had that injury, and Ari left, I think, in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
Just what's the status of?
Well, it's Sid's left knee, Ari's right foot, and we'll get some more evaluation when we get home tomorrow and see where we are.
Well, we all know where we are at this point. Sydney Colson tore her ACL, and Ari McDonald broke her foot. Obviously, a very difficult situation for any team to be minus 3 point guards, even a 3rd string point guard who doesn't do much. But the reality is, when you don't have your 2nd string point guard who's a starter now, you kind of need that 3rd string point guard. So yeah, this one sucks. This is difficult, and this will be a hard thing to overcome, unless Caitlin Clark puts on Superman cape or Superwoman cape and returns quickly.
And how did that kind of affect the game with Sid obviously going down right in front of the bench just in the 1st quarter? Just how did that affect you guys?
Well, I think it affects emotionally because nobody wants to see a teammate go down like that.
Listen to the excuses. I think it affects us emotionally because no one wants to see someone get hurt. So now we're going to lose on purpose because we're emotionally affected because now the entire game, all we're doing is thinking about Sydney Colson blowing her knee out. That's all we're thinking about. We're not thinking about playing basketball anymore. We're thinking, oh, yeah, you were down 12 already. My bad. You were already getting whipped. You were already getting run off the floor. Weren't you getting run off the floor by the same team in Indiana a week or so ago? And you came back and won the game? So your excuse making of so now this injury is why y'all got smashed. Okay.
But also, on the floor, that's another point guard, a primary ball handler. Someone who is a big part of our rotation on both ends of the floor. And so you go down one guard and it puts more pressure on Kelsey and Sophie and Lexi and Ari to play a little bit heavier minutes. And so, it made it a little bit tougher. But like AB said, you're playing a really good team in Phoenix. You give them 42 points off of turnovers and offensive rebounds. It's going to make for a tough night. And we had some setbacks early, but I'm proud of this group and we continued to fight. It wasn't pretty. And some.
Okay. See, this is where she goes off the rails. You're proud of what? You're proud of this group for continuing to fight. They got beat by 35, 95-60. 95-60, and you're sitting about you're proud of this group? What are you proud of? They didn't continue to fight. You quit. You laid down. They quit. They laid down. You phoned it in the 4th, and I don't really have a problem with that. When you're down 25 in the 4th, I would have put every backup in there. I don't know what the hell Kelsey Mitchell was doing on the floor. It was completely unneeded for her to be on the floor. Zero reason that Kelsey Mitchell was on the floor in the 4th quarter. You pulled Aliyah Boston with 6 minutes to go. So I'd like to know why is Kelsey Mitchell on the floor? Do not tell me that you need to have Kelsey Mitchell on the floor. You do not need to have Kelsey Mitchell on the floor. You don't. You could have had Natasha Howard on the floor. Let's go back and look at that. Let's go back and look at this roster that you had on the floor in those final 6 minutes of the 4th quarter. Because you had no need to have her on the floor, but you did. And I don't really understand why. It's almost like you wanted to create something that, Kelsey Mitchell did not play well. She did not play well. She had one of those shot chucker games. No question about it. Awful, awful game. And now you have her dumping the ball thinking she's playing like Harlem Globetrotters type basketball, just chucking the ball around. Let's specifically look at the roster in the final 5 minutes of this game. Let's see here. You got Lexi Hull, you got Chloe Bibby, you got Damaris Dantas, you got Kelsey Mitchell and Bree Turner. Why is Kelsey Mitchell in this game? You could have played, you didn't need her to run point guard. You didn't need her to run the point. You could have had Timpson out there. You could have let Lexi Hull run the point guard position. I mean, everyone else thinks that everyone seems to think that Lexi Hull's an incredible ball handler. So I don't see why exactly you didn't have Timpson out there. You had Dantas, Turner, Bibby, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell. Why didn't you have Michaela Timpson playing in those final 5? You didn't need Kelsey Mitchell out there to run the point. By no means. But you did. Why wouldn't Timpson play in the final 5 minutes of a 25-point blowout? At the time, turned into 35. Like, give me a break.
Sometimes you have these games. But we continue to fight, we continue to play hard, and we continue to stay together.
They didn't play hard. They did not play hard. I don't want to hear that shit. They did not play hard. That's nonsense. That is nonsense. Certifiable nonsense. Certifiable garbage.
Together.
And what do you do in like those instances of it not being a pretty game to make sure to keep that morale up, especially with another game on Saturday back in Indiana?
I mean, we talk about it. Like you talk about it. Just staying together. Just worrying about our execution. Worrying about us continuing to get better. Look, there are going to be days where we don't make shots. There are going to be days where, you feel like you're stuck in mud. We're not immune to that like any other team. But it's about the bigger picture of how we respond to that. And this group was still tight in our huddles. This group was still engaged in timeouts. This group was still, going out and executing on both ends. And
okay, tight in huddles. What? Let me repeat that. I gotta hear that again.
Your picture of how we respond to that. And this group was still tight in our huddles. This group was still engaged in timeouts. This group was still, going out and executing on both ends. And that's what it's about. This is a group that's been through a lot this entire season, and we love each other. We
All right, shut up. Whatever. Bye. I heard enough. So you were engaged in timeouts. You were together, connected, and then you executed. So I guess you got executed. Because if that's what you call execution on both sides of the floor, I'd love to know what you think when you're not executing. I'd love to know. I mean, you got to explain that one to me, because when you got beat by 35, what do you have to get beat by for you to say that you didn't execute? I just have to know. Maybe you can let me know. You got no accountability, Aliyah. You got no accountability, Stephanie White. There's zero accountability within this organization. No one will ever sit here and say, I play like trash. I own it. It's on me. Nobody will do that. You're leaving Kelsey Mitchell out there to burn when she's not playing well. That's not the time to have practice at point guard. You don't have point guard practice with 4 backups. If you want to have point guard practice with Kelsey Mitchell, have point guard practice in the 4th quarter with your starters. Again, I have no problem sitting your starters when you're getting skull drugged in the 4th quarter. You're not going to come back. But knowing that you have a point guard issue with 2 point guards now down, like one that you pretty much knew was probably done, and another one that you thought, oh shit, she might be done too. So now you're in a situation where maybe you need to use those final 6 minutes. Leave Aliyah Boston out there. Leave everybody out there. Let everybody play. Let everyone have one or the other running point guard, because someone has to run the point tonight against Chicago. They can't bring it. By rule, they could not bring in a hardship player. So again, a coach here decided to sit everybody, leave Kelsey Mitchell out there, play with backups who are not going to play a whole lot tonight, more than likely. They'll play limited minutes, but not going to get tons of minutes. And you have Kelsey Mitchell running point. How about having Kelsey Mitchell run the point with your actual team out there? Yes, you're getting whipped. I don't care. You have to think about your next game and the fact that you don't have a point guard tonight, but you decide to leave Kelsey Mitchell, and Kelsey Mitchell has to be the scapegoat for you, her minus 39, and Aliyah Boston is not accountable for anything that she's done. Stephanie White thinks that they executed on both sides of the floor. Stephanie White thinks they're engaged in the huddles. That's what it's all about. Stephanie White thinks about how you recover. Well, you got blown out by the Sparks the game before. So clearly you didn't recover from one game to the next. You got actually worse. You got worse. And don't sit here and tell me about how they're tired and they're fatigued. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about fatigue. I don't care. And by the way, my mistake. They played 4 straight road games. They won the first 2. They won the first 2 road games. What day was the August 1st? Today is August 9th. Okay. So they played August 1st in Dallas, went to Seattle August 3rd. They won there too. So were they fatigued then? They weren't fatigued in LA because they had an extra day of rest going into LA. Oh, but Stephanie White had time to go talk on ESPN. Her dog shit defense can't guard anybody. Her inability to fucking adjust in games is embarrassing. The track stars for the Sparks just ran them off the floor. And then you're going to go from getting skull drugged by the Sparks and play the Mercury and get beat by 35? I don't worry about this fatigue nonsense. They don't even practice between games. Give me a break. Same old, same old. We'll see what happens tonight against Chicago. Chicago's there to save you and, hopefully provide that buffer that allows you to win a game again. But, it's a home game. They should win because Chicago sucks. And we'll see what happens. But curious to see what happens tonight. I don't know. Let me see if there's any reports yet before we go off of this thing on what they're talking about for the game tonight. Let's see if they got anything that's updated here in the game cast. Do they have? I'm curious. The injury report. Okay, Caitlin Clark's listed as out. Okay, so they're not going to play. Hey, you know what? I was wrong. I thought they would reverse course because that's what this franchise seems to do. They seem to be very, very reactionary rather than reality based. So if you had a plan, stick to your plan. So for that, I say, good job, Indiana. You're not going against what you were doing. And right now, it still says that Angel Reese is out. Haley Van Lith is a game time decision. Ariel Atkins is a game time decision. Michaela Onyenwere is a game time decision. So Clark's out. Reese is out. Another game in which the 2 players that everyone came to see are not playing. But that's all I got. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me bring some new fans in with this video because I got rid of the old people that don't seem to ever have. I got rid of the old ones. Some of the things that I do are for a reason, people. I don't know if you realize that. I do certain things for a reason because I like to know who rides with me and who doesn't. I like to know if they just like a glazer or they like a real one. And I'm a real one. I'm a real one. And I'll always be a real one. So I appreciate y'all for always riding with me. Those of you who do, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Come on now.